My coolant reservoir is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted to the nuts and bolts here. If it's below the refill line, I will service it here. My coolant reservoir is not leaking. My cap is where I would service it. The cap is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. It's hand tight. My alternator is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted with the wires on tight. The wires are not cut, spliced, or frayed. The water pump is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted with the nuts and bolts. My belt, not frayed, worn, or torn. And it should have 3/4 inch when I pull on it. My alternator and my water pump are both belt driven. My windshield washer fluid is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. If it needs to be serviced, I would service it where the cap is. The cap is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. My engine hose, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. It's securely mounted to the nuts and bolts and the clamps here. I'll check all my engine hose like I did this one. My oil dipstick, not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted. I would take it out, wipe it off, put it back in. Take it out, wipe it. Check the levels. If it's below the levels, I will service it here where this cap is on top of the engine. The cap's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. It's not leaking. My air compressor is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. I'll follow my power steering reservoir hose. It's located under here, right there. I will follow it all the way on the side of the frame. It's my power steering pump. My power steering pump is not visible, so that's why I gave the directions to the power steering pump with this hose. The power steering pump's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. It's not leaking. My air compressor and my power steering pump are both gear driven. My frame from that end all the way down to the other end, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. No aftermarket hose, no welding. Now, my power steering reservoir, not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted. If it's below this line, I'll service it here. It's not leaking. My cap is not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. It's not leaking. My power steering reservoir hose, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. It's not leaking. I'm gonna do a group. I'm gonna group everything together. My steering shaft, my U-joint, my steering box, my pitman arm, my drag link, my upper and lower control arm, my tie rod in the back here. That's right. Yes, my tie rod here. They're all not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted, or you could say not bent, dent, broken, not missing. There's nothing wrapped around it. My U-joint is properly greased. My steering box is not leaking. It's securely mounted by the castle nut and cotter pins. I'll check all my castle nut and cotter pins like I did this one. It's not bent, dent, or broken. It's not missing. There's no shiny shavings or no rust trail indicating it's a loose castle nut and cotter pin. I'm gonna do another group together. That's my leaf spring mount, my bushing, and my leaf spring. All the way there, here. Those are my two U-bolts right here, and this is my shock absorber. They're all not bent, dent, or broken, not missing, or you could say not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted. My leaf spring from that end all the way to this end, it's not shifted. If there's 25% missing, I would have my truck towed to be serviced. My two U-bolts are securely mounted by the 4 nuts and bolts underneath. My shock absorber is not leaking. It's securely mounted by the nuts and bolts on the top and on the bottom here. Now I'm going to move into my brake system. This is my ABS line right here. It's not cut spliced or frayed. It's securely mounted by these clamps. My brake chamber hose, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. It's not leaking. It's securely mounted to the clamps. You get 3 points when you call the ABS line. My brake chamber, it's not cracked, broken, or damaged. Securely mounted by the clamp here. The brake chamber clamp is not bent, dent, or broken, not missing. My push rod and slack adjuster, they're both not cracked, broken, or damaged, securely mounted. If the brakes are released, I shouldn't have no more than 1 inch of play when manually done. Now I'm gonna move into the brake pads and the brake drum. The brake pad is not dangerously worn thin. It's not bent, dent, or broken. It's securely mounted. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. There's no oil. There's no grease on it. My brake drum, there's no holes, oils, or grease on it. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. And my tire, from this end all the way to this end, the inside to the outside, no abrasions, bubbles, or cuts. They're evenly worn. These cannot be recapped. These cannot be mixed back. Tire tread is 432. You get 3 points when you call the air pressure gauge. I'll take an air pressure gauge to check the specifications. The specifications is the air in the tire. The specification should be 90 psi to 120 psi, unless it says otherwise on the manufacturer here. My rim, not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted. No rust trail. My lug nuts, they're not bent, dent, or broken, not cracked. There's no shiny shavings. No rust trail indicating there's a loose lug nut here. My this is a oil hub seal. It's not cracked, broken, or damaged. It's securely mounted by the nuts and bolts around it. To service it, I would pull this rubber seal here. That is Firewall forward, or you could call it A.